The O'Reilly Factor is on tonight.
In kicking off the lighthearted segment, I offered a tongue-in-cheek message for any kids watching.
Megyn Kelly caught up in a giant Santa Claus controversy that has the media paying close attention.
You heard of Secret Santa? Well, here's a secret for you. I'm black as hell.
Are you really? Tonight, the Factor will get to the truth about Santa Claus.
President Obama, who would not be in the White House had it not been for the efforts and the boots on the ground and the support of labor unions.
A commentator for NBC News and a fierce advocate for labor unions has been receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars from some of the unions. Is this a scandal? Howard Kurtz will weigh in.
What gifts did the three wise men bring?
I don't remember that.
And Water's World, the Christmas edition. Is it ho, 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 or oh, no, no? Caution. You are about to enter the no-spin zone. The Factor begins right now. Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. The true spirit of Santa Claus. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. As you may know, Miss Megyn Kelly causing some controversy after she said last week that Santa is a white man and so is Jesus. That after an internet column expressed disappointment with Santa's Caucasian profile. Immediately, the far left was outraged.
If we can't imagine Santa across the racial divide, no wonder we have trouble creating an America without a racial divide. So, Santa, maybe this year you can leave just a little more racial imagination and tolerance in our Christmas stockings.
Well, that would be nice, but one wonders why anyone is even bothering with this. The historical truth is that St. Nicholas, the prototype for Santa, was white. He was born sometime around 280 A.D. in Asia Minor, now the country known as Turkey. St. Nicholas was a very kind man, protector of children and sailors. His feast day is celebrated on December 6th. By the time the Renaissance arrived in the 14th century, St. Nicholas was the most popular saint in Europe. In fact, in Holland, they made him a legend and gave presents on his feast day. When the Dutch settled New York, the folks continued to honor St. Nicholas, who was named Sinterklaas. And soon December became the month of Sinterklaas in the colonies, complete with gifts and celebrations. Then in 1822, an Episcopal minister, Clement Clark Moore, wrote a Christmas poem for his three daughters that forged the modern-day image of Santa Claus. The poem is now known as The Night Before Christmas. Then in 1881, political cartoonist Thomas Nast came up with the modern-day image of Santa Claus, the one that kids all over the world delight to even today. So that's it. That's how Santa Claus came into being. Now, why the bother? Two reasons. One, because any talk of skin color brings out the zealots. And two, because any controversy attached to the Fox News channel will be seized upon by the media.
I guess the truth is out. You heard of Secret Santa? Well, here's a secret for you. I'm black as hell.
I never knew.
Well, good. It's better for everybody that way. You know how many presents I gotta deliver? I can't afford to get pulled over every 10 minutes.
I mean, so you're okay with people thinking Santa is white?
Well, a white guy taking credit for something a black guy did. I'm more used to it than okay with it. Yeah, history always gets whitewashed.
But in this case, Miss Kelly is correct. Santa was a white person. Does that matter? No, it doesn't matter. The spirit of Santa transcends all racial boundaries. It's a spirit based on generosity, kindness to children, and magical moments. But for those who despise the Fox News channel, there's nothing magical about anything we do here. Again, a little history. When we first started up more than 17 years ago, the mainstream media was dismissive, believing CNN and MSNBC would crush us. They were wrong. When that became apparent, the liberal media attacked and continues to do so today. Because they cannot defeat us on the media battlefield, the far left seeks to demonize Fox News as a right-wing propaganda machine and a racist enterprise. That's why Miss Megyn got headlines about a Santa Claus remark that was totally harmless. So there you have it. And that's a memo. Now for the top story tonight, reaction. Joining us from Washington, Mary Catherine Ham and Juan Williams, both are Fox News analysts. So where am I going wrong here, Juan?
Well, Megan's a joy. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I love her show. But, as the politicians in Washington say, mistakes were made, Bill. And the idea that the mythic figure, Santa Claus, even if you said it goes back to Asia Minor and Turkey, he's a dark-skinned man. And in Jesus' case, I read Killing Jesus. It's not a case here, a man born in Palestine, Jewish. It's more likely that he is Arab or even Oriental, Asian, or maybe even a Moor than white. But the idea that you suddenly impose that racial framework on Jesus, the Son of God, and you lack the sense of God creating us all, you, me, Mary, Catherine, all of us, that's not generous in spirit. And the idea that you would say to Santa
look,
Claus?
The record is a record. If you go to Turkey, modern-day Turkey, Mary Catherine, they don't consider themselves the Turks to be non-white. And if you go to the Holy Land, Judea, back then, they don't consider themselves to be non-white there. That's just history. But the overarch is this. Megan was correcting an article that I think was written tongue-in-cheek. It's hard to tell on these crazy websites. By a woman named Aisha Harris, who wants to replace Santa with a penguin because Ms. Harris is fed up with seeing a fat white guy in the Santa situation. Now, I can only assume this is satire. And then Megan says, hey, look, come on. What are you doing this for? And you say, Mary Catherine?
I think, first of all, the good news is that I think most kids are truly colorblind when it comes to Santa. As long as he's bringing an Xbox One down the chimney, they're A-OK with that.
Doesn't matter what color they on, as long as they get the Xbox.
The other thing is, none of us have actually seen Santa, so there's no telling. And if you've seen him, you didn't get any presents, so you just sleep tight.
That's true. But we know St. Nicholas is the prototype, as I exhaustively explained.
No, I understand that. And the cultural representation, which is something that the writer at Slate was pointing out as well, the cultural representation is white. And her question is whether that is damaging to young black children. She said it was to her. It was not damaging to me as a young woman to see Santa represented as a man, but I think part of what Megan said didn't come off as kind as she wanted it to. Juan is a person of color.
Was Santa Claus damaging to you because he was portrayed as white, Juan?
Not damaging, but as Ms. Harris said in the article, it made her insecure because she would see all the representations.
I don't know Ms. Harris. She might be just a bundle of nerves.
No, but what she said was, and I don't think this is illegitimate because I'm telling you something. Hold on a second. I wrote a book about black religion in America, and I got to tell you something. The split between blacks and whites over representations, not only of Jesus, but all this imagery, that's very real and makes black people living in a white majority society.
Juan, can we talk about
questions.
You for just a second?
I just told you the answer, Bill. I said it for me.
Right, so when
it raised issues,
Juan,
but didn't make me feel bad.
When little Juan was taken to the department store, I believe they had them when you were little, but maybe they didn't.
No, that was prehistoric.
When little Juan was taken, and you saw this white Santa sitting there, did you fall apart, Juan? Were you an emotional mess?
No.
All right,
first of all,
you just joined in with all the other kids of all colors and persuasions and enjoyed the moment, correct?
Let me just explain that, first of all, I was a poor kid, so I didn't have that opportunity. But let me just say, I saw the representations, all the ads, and all the rest. And I just think we're a changed country. There are more kids of more colors. And I think that's what Aisha Harris was talking about. We just need something that speaks to the spirit of Santa and the spirit of giving and charity.
I think Santa speaks for the spirit of Santa. The Santa we have now, I think, is fine.
Let me add, too, that we also already imagine Santa in many different ways. I came from a place where there were plenty of black Santas and Santas of color represented around me. So there are places that you can find that. Is the dominant cultural representation a white guy? Yes, but that doesn't mean that our country is without racial tolerance and imagination. That's just not true at all.
Juan?
I agree. I think our racial tolerance and imagination is what's called for. And even the suggestion that the Son of God is a white guy, that's like superimposing race. And I think playing to racial antagonisms in our society, we just don't need it.
Well, all right. I think you're right about that. I don't think we need to define Jesus in any color. He was a man of Judea, a man of the time. He was Jewish, and that's what we know. But I just think I don't think Megyn Kelly meant any harm.
No,
I think it was seized upon by our enemies to try to make us a racist enterprise. I think that's despicable, and I think that is the lead on this story.
Stop delivering coal, all you critics.
That's right. Mary Catherine Juan, thank you. Next on the Rundown, the Washington Post reporting some issues within Obamacare were delayed because of the presidential election last year. Brit Hume on that. And then later, Waters goes out to ask people what they know about the federal holiday at Christmas and gets attacked by pigeons. Those reports upcoming.